bad news. Read caption. Okay. Lord have mercy. Sorry. All right. Let's do what we're here for. Welcome everybody that's in here. Just came from Facebook Live. Well, been about 30 minutes to like 40 minutes since Facebook. Now I'm on YouTube Live. I mean, all the news are always bad. Yep, always. Okay, let's go here. See what we got today. I'm going on my main site because I've been finding all the stuff there so I can explain it to you guys. What's up, Javante is the best? Oh, I like that account. Much better. All right. All right, let's go to 24/7. Oh yeah. Offgrid just posted a video also. U.S. intel help Ukraine protect air defenses, shoot down Russian planes carrying hundreds. Okay. Putin's war sparked an urgent need to expand the U.S. military industrial base. Oh yeah, by the way, Germany is going to send in these tanks to Ukraine. Don't worry, guys. I'm about to get to the crazy stuff. I am actually about to get to the crazy stuff. This is part of it because just a couple, I'm about to put another thing up. Just a couple of days ago, Germany said if they sent in tanks, it would cause World War III. All you gotta do is put Germany World War III and it'll come up. News. Go to news. World War III spike as Germany sends tanks to Kyiv. All right. No, not that one. NATO intervention won't spark World War III. That was Putin's mouthpiece means a no word. Dude, just 2 days ago, I swear 2 days ago, Germany put out a warning. They said, we will not send in tanks because of World War III. It will start World War III. I bet you they took that down because they sent in tanks. That's why I don't search on Google. Okay, let's try DuckDuckGo. That'd probably be easier. Let's try DuckDuckGo. DuckDuckGo. Oh, Paul and Adrian in here? Off-Grid's here? Oh, hey guys. Welcome. Off-Grid's here too. Sweet. All right. Is it Paul or Adrian today? Or is it both? We're gonna go DuckDuckGo. I'm gonna put exclamations on why I think war is going to happen probably in the next two weeks to a month. And this time, I really think it's about to go down. I think this is how you say his name. I think it's spelled weird. Ww3. All right, let's see. Now it should pop up. Yep, here it is. Okay, see? I get off of, we're both here. Awesome. Yes. All right, here we go. So this was the warning that was put out a couple of days ago by Germany. They were saying that sending in their priority is to avoid NATO confrontation with Russia, which that is supposed to be the priority. And they just made this big old statement like, oh yeah, we're not gonna send in hardware because it could start war with Russia. So let's go and read. NATO must avoid direct confrontation with Russia that could lead to a third world war. He said in an interview when asked about Germany's failure to deliver heavy weapons to Ukraine. So he was facing growing criticism at home and aboard his government, apparent reluctance to deliver heavy battlefield weapons, such as tanks, howitzers, and, to Ukraine to help fend off the Russian attacks. So this was a couple of days ago. This is what they wanted. They wanted to avoid World War III, right? Nuclear war. Now we go down. This is when he talks about that. Asked about the extensive interview published on Friday, why he thought delivering tanks could lead to nuclear war. Right there, nuclear war. He said there was no rule book that stated when Germany could be considered a party to a war in Ukraine. Okay, so what about this? That changed really quick. So now they're as of today, they're going to be sending these G-Pard air defense tanks to support Ukraine's defense. Now these tanks can shoot down planes. These these tanks can shoot down planes, and this is a big game changer. Oh, go check into Moldova too. I heard Moldova's on high alert. They were attacked a couple nights ago, I think 2 nights ago, and they had an emergency meeting this morning, and NATO has already sent Romanian forces inside of Moldova. Some of them are dressed up as Moldovan army men. So if Russia does evade them, if that's another front opening right now. I just posted a North Korea video on my TikTok about their parade yesterday. They was talking about the world powers going into war and stuff. Actually, I like to prove everything I say. North Korea. Kim Jong-un made a statement saying world powers are going at it, and they need to keep their strength up to here it is. I don't know if I want to do Good Morning America. I think I just did AP. This might be the one I just posted. Sorry. Turn this down a little bit. Excuse the advertisement. This is their biggest missile. Okay. No, this one's not in English. I think it was Reuters. Let's try that. Boom. One month, 5 hours. Here we go. I think this is the one.
North Korea is set to beef up its nuclear arsenal. That's what leader Kim Jong-un announced as Pyongyang marked the founding anniversary of its military with a massive parade, according to state media.
It was huge.
Pyongyang's news agency KCNA said Tuesday the parade featured North Korea's largest known intercontinental ballistic missile, the Hwasong-17, while a state newspaper released images of various weapons being paraded through waving crowds. The Hwasong-17 was test-fired for the first time last month, but South Korean officials believe efforts to conduct a full test ended in an explosion over Pyongyang. North Korea has stepped up its weapons tests and displays of military power as denuclearization talks with the U.S. stalled and South Korea prepares to swear in its newly elected conservative president.
Hey, Jessica, everybody that's in here.
Say there are signs of new construction at North Korea's only known nuclear test site, which has been officially shuttered since 2018. So
this ain't the same video, but I'll just post it on my YouTube when I get off the live. I'll post it on here. There was a video that they showed Kim Jong-un's his speech to the world, his speech to his country. They had a display of their power. They showed their hypersonic missiles. They showed their biggest nuclear intercontinental ballistic missile. So they had a lot. I remember you, Drew. Anyways, let's get back on track. Now on this website, you can search pretty much anything on here. I try to get a lot of people to go here because this is where you get news from hourly, like literally hourly. So, all right, right now, okay, Russia warns West is provoking World War III as NATO pours oil on the fire. Wait, hold on. Boris Johnson, Ukraine trade envoy, says Germany not totally our friend. Wait, what? Huh. What happened to Moldova? Y'all want to see what's going on with Moldova? Okay, let's do Moldova. All right. Steps up security. Okay, so they stepped up the security today. Republic explosions raise fear of new Ukraine war front. So here we go. Let's read what's going on in Moldova. All right, Moldova steps up security following blast in the breakaway Transnistria. Go down. On the evening of Monday, April 25th, the State Security Ministry building on Tiraspol, the Administrative Center of Unrecognized Transnistria, caught fire after it struck an alleged grenade launcher attack. The blast also shattered windows of neighboring buildings. Wow. On Tuesday morning, another series of explosions knocked out two radio towers in the village of Mayik, which had been broadcasting state-controlled Russian radio stations. Transnistria Security Council also reported an attack on a military unit near the village of Pakani. I think that's how you say it, Pakani. There are no further details on this purported attack as of yet. There were no reported casualties at the time of the writing, but this has gotten them to step up their security. Now, if you go to War News 24/7, which is another website that we use, they'll tell you that NATO has started sending in troops into Moldova right after this. I haven't been on this website today. Russia, Israel, Moscow threatens to shoot down Israeli fighters. Oh, dang. Well, that's great. There goes our, we know who's going after Israel. Didn't they just drop the US dollar or something like that? Did I hear that happen? All right, NATO drone communication base hit. Attacked by NATO drone. Oh, so they're saying it was attacked by a NATO drone? Y'all see that? Transnistria attacked by NATO drone communications base hit in military airport. So NATO really is trying to start this war, if that's the case. There's the World War III, all I have to do is go up here and put Moldova in real quick, because they were just talking about this yesterday, about Moldova getting struck. And all right, there we go. Let's do that. Let's do this English. There we go. Moldova fire, Duma, Moldova on fire. Well, it's a lot of Moldovas on fire. Army for Transnistria. Moldova will pay for whatever it did. Uh-oh. That's the Russian army? Oh, great. Oh, that's not good. Kiev accuses Moscow of trying to destabilize. Oh, okay, so Ukraine's already jumping in this. I'm trying to find there was one about Romania going into there. Maybe I should put Romania too. Going into Moldova. Nope, 2-2, okay. It's a little harder to search on this one. Oh wait, let me try going a little further down. Maybe they'll have some ones that they had from yesterday. Russia has cut off gas supplies to Poland. Okay, well, that's gonna hurt Poland bad. We already know they sent heavy weapons in. Sweden and Finland is going to join NATO. They're going to apply in mid-May. That's the big news right now. I'll just post a link to the Moldova one. Actually, I think I posted it in my first video talking about World War III. I think I did post a link in that one. You ain't missed much. We're just going through right now, talking about Moldova. Moldova was struck twice, I guess now. They were struck twice, and Russia said they're going to pay for whatever happened in Transnistria. All right, now let's talk about World War III, because that's where I'm at right now. So we're going to go first with Sweden and Finland, and then we're going to talk about Russia and that ordeal. So right here, here we go. All right. Foreign Minister says Finland, Sweden can jointly decide whether to join NATO. Finland and Sweden can decide jointly to decide whether to join NATO. They said, okay, so they both said that. Now that Sweden has decided to bring forward somewhat their own parliamentary process, it is possible that the decisions related to joining, if they are taking, will be placed on the same days or at least within the same weeks. So there is one on this that already said NATO member says it will block Sweden and Finland candidacy. Oh, which one? Which NATO member? I bet you it's Turkey. I bet you it's Turkey. Uh-oh, so we already got red flags within NATO. This ain't good. And this one's on RT, this on the Russian news. NATO member says it will block Sweden and Finland candidacy. We are not asking Finland and Sweden to change their name to IKEA and Croatian, president said. Oh, wait. Oh, no. What? Croatia? No way. Finland and Sweden joining NATO is very dangerous and amounts to provoking Russia, Croatian president said on Tuesday. They will refuse to ratify their membership until the US and EU pressure the neighboring Bosnia into guaranteeing ethnic quotes to their basic voting rights. As far as I'm concerned, they can get into NATO. They can poke the rapid bear in the eye with a pin. Oh, wow. However, until the electrical law issued in Bosnia is resolved, until the Americans, the English, the Germans, if they can want to compel, I have no idea how to pronounce any of this, Sarajevo and Bakar, to update the electrical law in the next 6 months and grant Croats their elementary rights. The Sabre must not ratify anyone's admission to NATO, referring to the Croatian parliament. Wow, so Croatia is not on board with Finland and Sweden joining NATO. Most NATO members want this because Finland has a 820-mile-long border with NATO. I mean, not with NATO, with Russia. So if they join, NATO has a big advantage there. They also up their defense spending in Finland and Sweden. Sweden has the Baltic Sea, so that's another good one. So they'll be able to watch the sea as they come in. And mostly all the warmongers want Finland and Sweden in. All the people that want war with Russia. All the people that want war with Russia wants Finland and Sweden in NATO because that's going to help them big time. They might just go ahead with it without their approval. They don't really, I don't think, there might be a way around it for NATO, is what I'm saying. Or they might just start kicking members out that's not on board with them because they're trying to look unified and they just keep falling back on looking unified. It's like they're hitting, they keep hitting roadblocks. NATO membership is essential for Finland and Sweden. No exact dates for NATO decision, but Finland and Sweden could announce within the same week. Okay, so that's updated today. They both did decide to, right here, here's another one. They already decided to join. Finland and Sweden agreed to both apply for NATO membership in May in defiance of Russian threats. Russia invasion of Ukraine sparked desire to join NATO in the Nordic territories. The two countries have remained neutral for decades, but cooperate with NATO. Sweden's application was previously expected to be submitted in late June. Finland's prime minister said earlier this month an application would happen in weeks. But Finnish and Swedish newspapers today reported that their respective governments have agreed to apply for NATO membership next month. So that's on there. This is legit. Maybe it won't be at the same time, but it'll definitely be in the same month. And then NATO said they were fast track Finland and Sweden in, which probably should be down here at some point. Let's try NATO. Will simultaneously join. Canada supports Sweden and Finland into the alliance. NATO membership for Sweden will be a small step for military, but a giant leap for political system. Yeah, that's true. Oh, here it is. Found it. All right. I like to prove all my stuff. Now, I just want y'all to know, if Finland and Sweden joins NATO, there's going to definitely be war with Russia. This is why I told you guys it's going to be the true test to the NATO alliance. Who's all going to be on board? Because when Russia drops that first nuke, that they ain't playing with these countries, then you're going to see NATO members start to fight amongst each other. Like, hey, I don't want real part of this, dude. I don't want my country destroyed. I ain't trying to die. And they're going to start trying to back out of this. But the United States, they're front line on this. They ready for it. They're trying to do all this before the midterms. Sweden and Finland will be put on the fast track to NATO membership. British analysts say that Russia will regret applications by Stockholm and Helsinki to join alliance as conflict in Ukraine turns public opinion. So yeah, it turns their opinion of both countries. Both countries want to fully join. Their people want to join, and they meet all of NATO's objectives. So this is perfect for them to join the alliance. This is why NATO can get them in so fast. But if a member is going to try to hold them up, I wonder what's going to happen with this, because this is going to definitely go against anything that can happen. Well, I guess Turkey was going to be against this, but I guess it was Croatia. I'm waiting for Turkey's response too, though, because they be playing the back and forth role. Okay, now the World War III situation. All right, this one I'm just gonna. China calls out the. China declares no limit in strategic cooperation with Russia. Putin sparked an urgent need to expand the U.S. military. Oh, we already saw that. Here we go. Now, the United States vowed military action. Well, they said military action is on the table if China sets up a base in the Solomon Islands. So U.S. vows to respond to any Chinese military base in the Solomon Islands. Australia and New Zealand are concerned that a deal could help China extend its military reach to the Pacific. The United States voiced concerns on Tuesday, which is today, over the complete lack of transparency surrounding a new security deal between Solomon Islands and China, and vowed to respond to any attempt to establish a Chinese military base on the island's nation. A draft copy of the security pact leaked on social media in March, but neither party has made public the deal reportedly signed by Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi and the Solomon Islands counterpart Jeremiah Benelli. The deal has drawn expressions of deep concern from the United States allies, Australia, New Zealand, and it could enable China to extend its military reach to the Pacific. And it also prompts a hasty visit from the Pacific by 2 top U.S. diplomats. Now, this warning came out yesterday, so I'm going to go here, get out of here. We can read that Russian one next for sure. Was it China, U.S. military action? Here we go. There we go. And this was on Western media. The United States won't rule out military action if China establishes base in the Solomon Islands. The Guardian Ambassador Daniel warns security pact presents potential regional security implications. So like I said, there's some crazy threats getting thrown out there. And then Russia warned us of World War III, of course. And then Germany sending in the tanks. And then Moldova just got under attack. And then Poland is sending in weapons from their country, which makes Poland a target. There's a lot going on right now. Turkey is still in Iraq. Turkey just invaded Iraq. Right here. Turkish drones may have targeted pro-Iran militants in Iraq. Wow, I seen that coming. Turkey's military advance to completely destroy PKK. So they're in there invading Iraq right now and taking out, I guess, Iran and the PKK. This would be the first known incident in which Turkey openly struck at pro-Iran groups there. Turkey doesn't like the Kurds. Heck no, they don't. They've always hated the Kurds. They have a religious war with each other. Oh, it's about to get worse as Russia's trying to claim a church in Israel. And this is about to start beef with them. I heard Pakistan and Iran is getting ready to fight Turkey and Iran. I'm not Turkey and Iran. Pakistan and Iran is getting ready to fight Afghanistan, I think. I heard a rumor that Afghanistan's building up on the border. I mean, Iran's building up on the Afghan border. Okay, let's see. Iran border crossing opens after tensions. As Pakistan and Iran face Afghan unrest, militants wage war on China's ties. Whoa. U.S. president in Afghanistan only caused destruction. Yep. Yeah, we can agree on that. Okay, as Pakistan and Iran face Afghan unrest, militants wage war on China's ties. So this is connecting right back to the big three. Okay, Pakistan and Iran grapple with the growing unrest exploited by military groups operating in Afghanistan. The Separatists and Liberation Army has declared war on Chinese presence in the... Whoa, what? Which sits at the heart of Asia and China's economic interests at the center of the continent. In the latest eruption of violence beset Pakistan since the Taliban took over the neighboring Afghanistan, an apparent suicide bombing killed 4 people Tuesday, including 3 Chinese nationals. Whoa! At a Chinese institute in Pakistan's largest city of Karachi. As soon, the BLA's brigade soon claimed responsibility for today's suicide attack. Dang, what the heck is going on, dude? War on China's ties. Whoa, okay. This is okay, so China might actually get drugged into some war, bro. We might actually see China fight. I hope it don't start with us. You got the United States threatening war with China. China getting their stuff strong. Oh, is this the building? Is this the video? Hold on. Oh, no, this ain't the video. Okay. Let me reset this and see if there was something on here. I wasn't even paying attention. If there's a video, I can show you guys the advertisements like minutes. Okay, while we're waiting for the advertisement to be done, 8 seconds. That ain't too long. 5 seconds, 4, 3, 2. All right, let's go. Yep, here it is. Hungry people have zero tolerance. Facts. That is true. Huh. Interesting. So it ain't show none of the shooting or anything, but it's just showing the unrest in Afghanistan right now. And people, yeah, I still wonder how they feel about being taken over by the Taliban right now. You barely hear about anything. It was such a big deal when they took it, and then it just dropped off the news. They could be doing anything, killing children, raping women. They could be doing anything over there. We wouldn't even know about it. But we're sure focused on Ukraine and stuff right now, though. But not, where we were just at. Oh, man, okay. Now we get into the juicy stuff. Russia's Lavrov warns of real danger of Ww3. Russia's top diplomat accuses Ukraine's Zelensky of only pretending to negotiate to end war. Says goodwill has its limits. Yep, that's true. Okay, let's go down. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said Monday that peace talks with Ukraine will continue. There was a real danger of Ww3. Speaking to Russian news agencies, he criticized Kyiv's approach to talks, adding goodwill has its limits, but if it isn't reciprocal, that doesn't help the negotiation process. But we are continuing to engage in negotiations with the team delegated by Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, sorry. And these contacts will go on. Now we go down. Lavrov accused former actor Zelensky. Oh, wait, already said that. The danger is serious and it is real. Oh, given the current tensions, Lavrov said the danger of Ww3 is real. The danger is serious. It is real. You cannot underestimate it. Lavrov told the Interfax news agency. Of ongoing conflict in Ukraine, he said he was confident that everything will, of course, finish with the signing of accord. But the parameters of this will be defined by the state of the fighting that will have taken place at the moment of the accord becomes reality. So he is he warned many of times that Ww3 could happen. He also warned of nuclear war. Him and China. And now China's urging restraint now. So China's jumping in this, as they already just came out and said that the strategic partnership between them and Russia today is, tight. We had China urges restraint after Russia warns of Ww3. Okay, what does China got to say on this? China said Tuesday that no one wants to see a third world war and that it hopes the relevant parties in the Ukraine crisis can prevent the conflict from escalating further. Speaking at this regular press conference, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Wang warned of heavier price on Europe and the rest of the world and encouraged the involved parties to reach a peaceful resolution as soon as possible. Under the current circumstances, all parties should first and foremost support dialogue and negotiations to prevent expansion and prolongation of conflicts, he said. The Foreign Ministry's comments came after Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov spoke openly about the serious risk of Ww3 in an interview that aired Monday. The conflict in Russia-Ukraine war has so far involved only two countries, although Ukraine is receiving substantial military aid from other nations, including the U.S. But there are concerns that the conflict could expand and involve international community. Lavrov was taking part in a interview with Russia's Channel 1, the one that keeps threatening to nuke the United States, the one that keeps threatening to nuke Europe and the UK. Yeah, I told you guys, those guys are pretty close with Putin and Lavrov. So anyways, and the one that was talking about nuking the United States, it was one of their spokespersons. It was one of their Duma members, which is like our Congress. They're lawmakers. It was he brought up the possibility of an escalation of the Russia-Ukraine war into nuclear conflict. A week before, in an interview with India Today, he insisted that Russia would use conventional weapons only in the Ukraine conflict, unless Ukraine started hitting Russian territory, which they did start doing again. as they blew up two oil depots. All right, so we got that. We got Finland and Sweden out of the way. All right, now let's see what's on 24/7 War News now, because this sounds, what's happening over there sounds really bad. So let's see what's really going on with all right, let's see, English. All right. So we got Israel and Russia. Is that the one y'all want to see? Israel and Russia? Y'all want to see what's going on between them two? Or do y'all want to read about the threat of World War III and nuclear? Because China also threatened conflict with the United States too. Yes, Israel, the Israeli one? Israel and Russia. Okay. Let's see what's going on. All right. Israel and Russia crisis. Moscow threatens to shoot down Israeli fighters. Israeli occupied Golan Heights. Moscow has threatened Israel with downing of Israeli fighters, demanding to stop to Israeli airstrikes in Syria. Moscow has also stressed to Israel that it must not provoke Russia to respond. There is a very clear escalation in the relations between the two countries, with Russia launching attacks on Israel on a number of issues. Oh, really? Just 24 hours ago, Russia located Israeli forces in Ukraine. What? I didn't know that. I did not know that. Whoa. Okay, that's the new one. Okay, just 24 hours ago, Russia located Israeli forces in Ukraine. These are soldiers who served in the Israeli armed forces with extensive experience against the Hamas and the PLJ and the Hezbollah. Israel and Ukraine speak of volunteers. Coincidentally, the Hezbollah posted a video for a multi-faceted attack with simultaneously rocket and ballistic missile attacks on Israel by members of resistant axis from Iran, Iraq, Syria, and Gaza, Lebanon, and Yemen. Wow, bro, Yemen. I'm at Yemen. These foreign fighters are from Israel. So these guys in this video is from Israel. Let's see. לממשלת ישראל על זה שעוזרים לנו, שאנחנו נלחמים פה נגד הרוסים במלחמה הקשה הזאת. המון המון תודה, והמון תודה לבית כנסת הראשי בקייב, לרב משה אזמן. המון המון תודה. תודה חבר'ה. Okay. So these Israeli guys that's in Ukraine. The movement, 69 ballistic missiles, and simulating and discussing a simultaneous attack against Israel from Gaza, Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, and Yemen, and Iran. Dude, so people don't know this, but Israel is like surrounded by nations that hate them. Like seriously surrounded by nations that hate them. If Israel end up going to war with Iran, they got these countries around them called the Ring of Fire that they call the Ring of Fire. So the Ring of Fire is these countries that surround Israel. Israel's of course on the water side, and then there's some countries that surround them and are constantly at war. If these all 5 countries get activated on Israel, they're so fucked. I'm sorry. Excuse my language, but they're so freaking screwed. It's not even funny, unless they use their nuclear weapons that they've been secretly holding back for years now. But that's going to be their only way out. They're going to see bombs from every side. Israel's in a bad spot now. The Ukrainian war next door. Yep, they sure is. Chrissy, you don't allow people to be led astray. I don't care who's the chat if you're a Christian. Wait, what? Okay. Israel challenged us to react. All right, here we go. Russian ambassador to Syria has warned that Israeli airstrikes in Syria provoke Russia to react. Russia indirectly but clearly threatened to shoot down Israeli fighters, something that could be done if he used the anti-aircraft systems he has in Syria, so they could shoot him down with those anti-aircraft systems that they have there. The strongest Russian condemnation of Israel operation in Syria, which shows that something has changed. Yeah, their relationship. They're beefing now. They're beefing now. All right. Let's go over to Russia's side as they warn of World War III and nuclear war. And then we can talk about China because that's next. But I'm going to tell you guys off rip, I believe in a couple weeks to a month, we're definitely going to be in a war. Double slapping U.S. Erdogan sentences Biden to life in prison. Wait, what? I didn't even, what? Slapping the U.S. Erdogan sentences Biden to life in prison. Okay. I'm kind of interested. I'm not going to lie. All right. Look up Moldova's latest news. They're on high alert or what's going on? Look up Moldova's. Okay, what's going on? I'll check it out. I'll check it out real quick. Sorry. Okay, what's going on with Moldova now? Moldova's latest news. Uh-oh. Fears grow. Latest places security forces on alert after blasts in breakaway states. U.S. monitoring blasts in breakaway Moldova region. Yeah, I know. My airplane person to Moldova. This is a dumb question, but where is Moldova? Moldova's over by Ukraine. It's like right under Ukraine, by Romania. They have a border with Romania, and I think they have a border with Bulgaria, I believe. Moldova places security forces on alert after blasts and a breakaway state of Transnistria. I think we read this earlier, actually. Did we read this earlier? A piece of this? So it was placing, oh shoot. I didn't mean to click that. So it was placing security forces on high alert Tuesday following a series of explosions in Transnistria, a breakaway pro-Russian enclave that has stirred concerns that the role of some 1,500 Russian troops stationed there could play in shoring up Russia's military campaign in neighboring Ukraine. Okay, yeah, I did read this one to them. Sorry, go a little more back in the video and you'll find that one. I did tell them I was going to read the World War III thing. What the heck's going on? Why Russia's putting this threat out here? Russia recently raised the country's nuclear alert index as Foreign Minister Lavrov revised what Kremlin has said so far, spoke openly about World War III and a serious threat of nuclear war. This development comes after the blows that Moscow received today in Bryansk. NATO, along with Ukrainians, hit so deep into Russian territory that it is why Lavrov focused on the armaments provided to Kyiv by NATO member countries. Yeah, they started destroying them like crazy today, just like they said they would do. They started hitting West Ukraine and Lviv. He accused the United States of violating international agreements with delivery of Mi-17s helicopters to Ukraine and stressed that NATO de facto entered a proxy war with Russia by supplying weapons to Ukraine. Dangers of nuclear war. The risk of nuclear war is now very significant and cannot be underestimated, Sergei Lavrov said in a televised interview Monday night, adding that there are many who are willing to artificially inflate this threat. He also recalled in January that the countries made up a strong nuclear five of the world confirmed a position on unacceptable use of nuclear weapons, which is true. This is the starting point. We are moving forward on the basis that I would not go as far to say that the risk is really very, very important, and there are many who want to inflate it artificially. However, the dangers is serious, it is real, and cannot be underestimated. Russia suspending gas on Wednesday. Wait, to like Europe? Google the place. Sorry, it's a dumb question. Google the place and you will. Oh, Lord. Moldova is in Europe next to Ukraine. Yep, right next to Ukraine and right next to Romania. All right. I'm mad I can't find an article on Romania getting involved. Suspending gas to Poland. Okay, so tomorrow they'll be suspending gas to Poland. They must not have paid in rubles. China calls out the United States war crimes. Beijing won't listen to U.S. accusations while Washington commits war crimes in courses of the world. Foreign Ministry spokesperson says. They lashed out at the EU and the US for criticizing its domestic foreign policies. Wang singled out the United States, accusing Washington of war crimes in the Middle East, economic incursions, betraying its allies, and spreading disinformation. I kind of agree with most of this. I ain't gonna lie. I kind of agree with most of this because the United States have done war crimes. We have hit Syria and invaded countries that didn't need to be invaded. That was none of our business. We've done all of that. So yeah, and we probably killed a bunch of people in the process. So we're no better than them. I always say that. I say all governments are corrupt, and nobody gets a free pass out of this. The U.S. purports to maintain the centrality of the UN Charter, but it is clear to anyone that the U.S. is doing quite the opposite. Wang told reporters at a press conference on Monday, citing that the U.S. military interventions, former Yugoslavia, and Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria. Wang told that Washington brushed the UN aside and waged wars on sovereign states and wanton interference. The United States, the U.S. claims to respect human rights, but wars of aggression launched by the U.S. and its allies killed over 300,000 civilians and made over 26 million people refugees. Ooh. Oh, China going after the United States neck right now. China going after the United States neck on an international criminal court who would investigate the war crimes of the. Oh, the U.S. even announced sanctions on the International Criminal Court who would investigate war crimes of the United States military. Oh, shit. In addition to sanctioning a number of top international criminal court officials in 2020, the U.S. maintains the Hague Evasion Act, giving its military permission to invade the Netherlands to free any American held at court. Wang accused the United States of using its economic might to court countries, whether they are big, small, far away, nearby, friend, or foe, citing 5 decades of U.S. sanctions on Cuba and 4 decades of such measures on Iran. When it comes to stabbing its allies, such as the EU, Japan in the back, the U.S. has never hesitated, as we have seen repeatedly, he added, likely referring foremost to the United States' recent decision to undermine a nuclear submarine deal between France and Australia to further its AUKUS alliance with the UK and Australia. Oh, that is true. That is true. China has repeatedly condemned this alliance as the United States' effort to build an Asian Pacific version of NATO, which we always did call that the Asia Pacific NATO. At least a lot of people. Facts have been proven that the United States is the biggest spreader of disinformation. Facts. culprit, culprit of cursive democracy and saber of the world and peace stability. Wang declared from the U.S.-EU dialogue to the UCAS trilateral security partnership to Quad to the Five Eyes Alliance. Wait, what's the Five Eyes Alliance? I didn't even see that one. What's the Five Eyes Alliance? The U.S. is using democracy, human rights rules in order to pretext to cover up its shady activities of creating division and stoking confrontation. Wang's accusations, while incendiary, were not made out of the blue. Last week, the United States and EU officials held their third dialogue on China after they issued a joint press release accusing Beijing of repeated information manipulation regarding the conflict in Ukraine. Recent incidents of economic coercion and alleged human rights abuses against Uyghur people, and all of China denies. Okay, so that's crazy. That is crazy. China just came at the United States' neck. And I kind of agree with some of the stuff they were saying. I mean, I can't hate on China for real. They haven't taken Taiwan and went into Taiwan yet. But they are ready to put the United States on the plate when they're like, hey, you're talking about Russia and shit. How about you tell your people about what you've been doing in Syria? How about you tell your people what you've been doing in Iraq? How many allies you screwed over? Like, dude, we watch this every day. We watch your every move, bro. China is not playing. Okay, China scrambles to outpace U.S. GDP growth amid lockdowns. Oh yeah, because China's locked down again. South Korea to examine joining Quad. Well, if they join Quad, wouldn't it be called like Pentagon at that point, or what's five like? Like what? Oh Lord, Taiwan doesn't need formal U.S. security guarantees. Okay, Taiwan, all right. No, they want to do that though. They want to fight China and Russia. Okay, this is the last one I'll do on the Chinese one. All right, China declares no limit in strategic cooperation with Russia. China recently affirmed its intentions to strengthen. Are you freaking serious? Let's try that. China affirmed its intentions to strengthen strategic cooperation with Russia to establish new type of international relationship and other shared goals. Political analysts interpret this as public notice from Chinese Communist Party that China and Russia stand united against Western democratic camp led by the United States. All right, let's flip this over. I don't know how many warnings and how many times they're going to put it to you guys that something is coming and that things are just not right in the world. There's even been nuclear threats and nuclear warnings. At this point, we are very close to a conflict with Russia and China, not only in the Indo-Pacific, not only in Europe, but it will come here at home. And this is what people don't understand. They're taking this for granted because we've been spoiled for too long in this country. We're beyond the Cold War. They've already said relations. I can show you this real quick too. Look, I know people, that's the first thing people go to say it's the Cold War, but we're way beyond the Cold War, guys. Russia, and this was in 2021. U.S. Russia ties worst during the Cold War. This was in 2021, guys. And I've been warning of this since, because when I saw the breakdown in relations. Now, not only did Russia say that last year, there's been warnings that 2.0, Cold War 2.0 is going to be much more than the original Cold War, because you will know why? They have no respect for each other. There's no trust. It is now worse than the Cold War. Like, you could just keep going. You can literally just keep going. Trump says Russia ties worse than the Cold War, blames Mueller. That was 4 years ago. U.S. Russia worst ties in the Cold War. Keep going. American involvement in the Cold War. Not that one. Let's see. Let me slim this down to this year. Ties during the worst of the Cold War. Raising of Ukraine isn't Cold War 2.0. It's worst. You see that? It's not Cold War. It's not a Cold War. It's worse. Oh man. Post-Cold War era is over. They don't even know what to call this. This is how bad it's gotten, guys. Like, the U.S. and Russia is about to be fighting. In the Cold War, they didn't even, they didn't really do any pew-pews and stuff at each other. They had it pretty easy. They were just going to threaten each other with full-on nuclear war. But now, these guys can start shooting each other real fast. We got technologies that we could try to cover it up. Or, they just might find an excuse to just go into Ukraine and just take Russia out, saying they either used a nuclear weapon, a tactical nuclear weapon, a chemical weapon, or a biological weapon. Any of the weapons of mass destruction would get NATO involved in this war. They're going to take back everything they said, and they will be in there. Now, when we put in nuclear war, this is what I don't get. People only have to put in nuclear war for you to see the crap that's going on. The threat of nuclear war is real, and that's on your your Western news. Like, there is serious risk of nuclear war. Nuclear war, what could happen and how to prepare yourself. Russia warns serious nuclear war risks should not be taken. Your last have my arm here stay. Zelensky warns of nuclear war. Nuclear World War III is now a real danger. What the West fears most about Putin's nuclear weapons. I mean, come on, guys. Like, the past year, I bet you there's been about 20 or 30 articles about nuclear war. Probably even more. Probably way more. Because we're that close. And people are just now waking up to it. This is why they're saying it's not happening, because they think it's just now starting to develop. This has been developing since the beginning of last year. Actually, since Joe Biden even got into office, this has been developing slowly. They gave you the warnings, and now it's too late to take them. I mean, you could prepare, you get right with your higher power, you could pray. But the warning time, we're at ground zero, man. There's only so many more warnings Russia might give out. They might not give out anymore. They're already striking the Western weapons. We're losing millions of dollars of our tax money. For what? Do we even support this war? Do we even support a war with Russia knowing that it's going to blow up this planet? And if you don't believe it from me, let's hear from the last president of the United States that was just in office. Can we at least hear from him? If y'all don't want to take my word for it.
J.D. Vance, the only candidate endorsed by President Trump. Trump says J.D. is strong on borders, tough on
This was
crime,
today.
and will hold China
Just
accountable.
letting you know.
Trump
Showing you the
J.D.
date.
Vance. Protect Ohio Values is responsible for the content of this advertising.
To those who don't like you, there's people out there that don't like you. I know you said.
And I say this, our country's in trouble. Something has to happen. And if it doesn't happen, and if we don't have smart leadership, you're going to end up with no world. The world is going to be blown to pieces. We have stupid people now running our country. The world is going to be blown to pieces. If it doesn't happen, and if we don't have smart leadership,
One more time.
you're going to end up with no world.
What?
The world is going to be blown to pieces. We have stupid people now running our country. The world is going to be blown to pieces.
So, how can the world be blown to pieces? What everybody's warning you about, nuclear war. People ain't taking it seriously because they've been back and forth for years, but there's no way out this time. There is no way out this time. They have no way to back down. They have no way to negotiate because NATO wants to expand and Russia don't want them to. The only way to stop this is stop NATO expansion. I don't get it. I truly, truly don't get it. It makes me think that Trump's even worried now about everything. He says truly our country's going to hell and they're going to blow it to pieces. Biden's policy is pushing Middle East closer to China and Russia, says U.S. Senator. Great. So we're losing more people, right? We're losing more people as they're dropping our dollar. Dropping our dollar. Okay. Oh, great. What does this say? Oh, Miley, great, Miley. You were all over Russian media, bro. I hope you ain't sent a call to them and, tell them that we were planning anything secretly in Ukraine or something. Anyways, Russia must pay a price for Ukraine aggression, U.S. general says. Letting Moscow get away with its attack on Ukraine would destroy the global international security order. America's top general has declared that Russia cannot be allowed to get away with its offensive in Ukraine cost-free because allowing such aggression would end global international security established after World War II. If this is left to stand, there is no answer to this aggression. If Russia gets away with this cost-free, then so goes the so-called international order. And if that happens, then we're entering into an era of seriously increased instability. No world. When they use words like instability, they don't want to tell you war. They use their own words for war. Oh, great. What's this? When was this? Oh, that was today? Oh. This is why they're blocking Russian news. This is why. UK support for attacks on Russian soil triggers response. And any attempts to do so would invoke immediate proportional response, Moscow has warned. The Russian Ministry of Defense accused London of direct provocation after British Armed Forces Minister James Heappey encouraged Ukrainian forces to use UK-supplied weapons to attack targets inside Russia. You guys are just trying so hard to get Russia involved in this. It's not even funny how hard they're trying. They're trying so hard. So what? Are y'all gonna arm someone to shoot at the UK? Like, what would be the proportional response? We wanted to emphasize that London's direct provocation and Kyiv regime to such actions, should they attempt to do so, would immediately lead to our proportional response. As we have warned, the Russian armed forces are on standby around the clock to retaliate with long-range, high-precision weapons against decision makers in Kiev. That's what I meant. Oh crap, I forgot. One last thing. This just threw something in my mind. I totally forgot. Okay. 1 second, guys. All right. So tell me this doesn't sound set up real quick. The U.S. yesterday said that they were going to reopen and send back their diplomats to Ukraine, right? Russia came out and said today that they will strike lawmakers, and they don't care if it's Ukraine's lawmakers, and they don't care if it's any other nation's lawmakers. So right here, the U.S. diplomats begin to return to Ukraine. White diplomats and their protectors in Ukraine are a key signal to Russia. They said the U.S. will resume diplomatic operations. So they got their diplomats back in Ukraine, right? All right. All right. Lawmakers of both parties condemn Russia. Nope, not that one. I gotta go to today's news. Oh wait, Google. You just go to tools. You go to times, and then you just put 24 hours. Russian lawmaker. False news. Okay, bill on false news about military operations and further cut to the media. Okay. Austin calls weaken Russia shift. Hold on. They came out and said they would strike lawmakers. They don't even care if it's foreign lawmakers at the time. But that could start a war. That could start a war between NATO. That's their people. That's their lawmakers. They work for, us. Let's see. Maybe if I put Kyiv. UN ready to fully mobilize in Mariupol as U.S. calls for allies to move heaven and earth. What the hell does that even mean? Move heaven and earth. They going to the top of the top to do it. Geez, I found this earlier. Maybe it's in that same article. West preparing if Russia blocks Bosnia mission. What's Bosnia's mission? It says West preparing. Oh, Blinken said that today. Dang, this is a lot happening today, isn't it, guys? Unpredictable consequences. Uh-oh. Okay, let's just look up Russia, Ukraine. That'd be the best. Spelled that completely wrong. There we go. West promises Ukraine new weapons. Russia warns of wider conflict. Okay, well, that's not good. Let's see, it says firepower, popularity. Putin could do a U-turn due to massive popularity in Russia, says Prime Minister. I want to know what this Bosnia, what's going on here. I'm not gonna overhold this live. I don't want to do this live for long. Let's see what's going on. So not the strategic railway. Oh yeah, yep. So they are hitting the railway bridge. They hit the railway bridge where Ukraine was getting their weapons from NATO members. Uh, Russia has pounded eastern and southern Ukraine as the U.S. promised to keep moving heaven and earth to get Kiev the weapons it needs to repel the new offensive, despite Russia's warning that such support could trigger a wider war. So this is where we're at. For the second day in a row, explosions rocked the separatist region of and neighboring Moldova, knocking out two powerful radio antennas close to the Ukrainian border and furthering heightened fears of a broader conflict erupting across Europe. No one has claimed responsibility for the attacks, but Ukraine all but blamed Russia. Russian missile fire also knocked out the strategic railway bridge along a route of links southern Ukraine's Odessa port region to neighboring Romania, a NATO member of Ukrainian authorities said. Oh. So now they're cut off. Does that affect Romania in any way? I wonder. What if that affects them in any way? I'll have to look that up. Or does that just stop their missions to Ukraine? Southern Ukraine and Moldova has been on edge since a senior Russian military officer said last week that the Kremlin's goal is to secure not just eastern Ukraine, but the entire south, so as to open the way for dang it. It's at Transnistria, I think it's called. The little city that's occupied by Russia. U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said that more help is on the way as he convened a meeting of officials around 40 countries at the U.S. Air Base in Ramstein, Germany, and pledged more weapons. Look like they're really trying to start World War III. And, oh yeah, down here, this is the one they're talking about. And near-term security requirements, because we're going to keep moving heaven and earth so that we can meet them, so that they can deliver these freaking weapons. Like, they're ready to go this far, man. Okay. Now, I want to hear what he had to say about this. What the fuck? Lord have mercy. Sorry about that, guys. I cannot control.
People need to read it.
I can't read it.
It's because you're like 4.
It's not half.
Switch to progressive and you can save hundreds. You know, like the sign
Lord have
says.
mercy. Okay.
Latest attacks in eastern Ukraine on the battlefield out there come as police say several explosions hit the Ministry of State Security building on the other side of the country, the southwestern side. That's in Transnistria. See that little blue strip?
Transnistria.
That is another separatist region where Russia has encouraged and armed and funded separatists who want to break away from the country of Moldova, where that territory is legally recognized to belong. Russia even has 1,500 troops down there. So ABC's Alex Perchet joins me now to talk about this. No one really has claimed responsibility at this point for the explosions in Transnistria. What does it mean, though, for the security of southern Ukraine and other nations in that region?
Well, Terry, I can tell you that no one's claimed responsibility yet, but it has prompted security concerns by folks in the region, including the country of Moldova, the president there convening a Security Council meeting. It's something that we heard Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin saying that they're going to stay focused on. And,
okay.
And also today in testimony before a Senate committee, we heard Secretary of State Antony Blinken refer to what was going on in that region and how it might be bringing up the conversation about countries who belong to NATO. He said, well, if you look at the countries that Russia has attacked, and I will preface this by saying that nobody has claimed responsibility for these explosions, but he says if you look at the countries that Russia has attacked over the last few years, leaving forces in Transnistria, also Moldova, I mean, these are countries that are not a part of NATO. They have attacked non-NATO countries. And so I think that's going to be something that we continue to hear questions about going forward, especially with this latest attack in Transnistria.
That's right. Vladimir Putin has long railed against NATO, but this invasion is the best commercial for NATO ever. Finland and Sweden, who have not been members of NATO, are now applying for membership. But we heard earlier the U.S. Defense Secretary promising to, quote, keep moving heaven and earth to get Kyiv the weapons it needs. So what's the latest on those efforts?
Well, so Terry, the latest on that front, U.S. providing more than $320 million in military aid. That was something that we talked about.
Where's our 320 million? Like, what the F? What in the actual F? In 2 weeks, they already spent $1 billion on Ukraine. $1.6 billion. Well, 1.9 billion now, not including the other hundreds of thousands, 300,000 that's
yesterday. This will allow the Ukrainians to buy from defense firms, like the equipment that they actually need.
713 million, bro. We are already past $2 billion. $2 billion sent to Ukraine within the last 2 weeks.
It's millions of dollars as a part of about a $713 million package that provides money for our other allies in that region in Central and Eastern Europe, also the Balkans. But again, I mean, this is we heard Secretary Blinken earlier today before that Senate committee. This is laying the groundwork for another ask. The president telegraphing last week that he was going to be going to Congress for supplemental funding to continue providing weapons and supplies to Ukrainian forces. We know about that drawdown package the president announcing last week, $800 million, clearly going back to the well to make sure that the Ukrainians are well stocked.
Oh, that's dumb. I just wanted to see what Lloyd Austin said about this. But I guess they didn't have a speech on here. That's a freaking bait. That's why I freaking hate Western media. Anyways, and that's the article. So what's the point of saying Pentagon chief slams nuclear war talk as dangerous, and there's nothing in here about nuclear war talks? What the F? Oh, dog. Oh, dude. I go to YouTube for this. At least I know they're going to give me something. Okay, here we go. That's the briefing. That's 13 minutes. Dang. I know that's it, though.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for...
We're all coming away with a transparent and shared understanding of the challenge that the Ukrainians face. And I know that we're all determined to help Ukraine win today and build strength for tomorrow.
Okay.
The work that we've done together in record time has made a huge difference on the battlefield. President Zelensky made that clear when we met Sunday in Kyiv. And countries all around the world have been stepping up to meet Ukraine's urgent needs. And I wanted to especially welcome a major decision by our German host, as Minister Lambrecht announced just today that Germany will send Ukraine some 50 Cheetah anti-aircraft systems. And yesterday, of course, the British government announced that it would provide Ukraine with additional anti-aircraft capabilities as well.
Wow.
Today, Canada announced that it will send Ukraine 8 armored vehicles. And so that's important progress. We're seeing more every day. And I applaud all the countries that have risen and are rising to meet this demand. But we don't have any time to waste. The briefings today laid out clearly why the coming weeks will be so crucial for Ukraine. So we've got to move at the speed of war. And I know that all the leaders leave today more resolved than ever to support Ukraine in its fight against Russian aggression and atrocities. And I know that we're all determined to do even more to better coordinate our efforts. So I was especially glad to hear General Walters encourage us all to make more determined use of EUCOM's coordination mechanism. Now, that to ensure that we continue to build on our progress, we're going to extend this forum beyond today. I'm proud to announce that today's gathering will become a monthly contact group on Ukraine's self-defense. And the contact group will be a vehicle for nations of goodwill to intensify our efforts and coordinate our assistance and focus on winning today's fight and the struggles to come. The monthly meetings may be in person, virtual, or mixed, and they'll extend the transparency, the integration, and the dialogue that we saw today. And let me underscore another key point. We held an important session today on the long-term support for Ukraine's defenses.
Right.
Including what that will take from our defense industrial bases. And that means dealing with the tremendous demand that we're facing for munitions and weapons platforms. And giving our staunch support to Ukraine while also meeting our own requirements and those of our allies and partners. But it also means redoubling our common efforts to strengthen Ukraine's military for the long haul. And I look progress and continue to reach out to nations of goodwill to help Ukraine defend itself. And we'll continue working transparently and urgently with our allies and partners. And we'll continue pushing to support and strengthen the Ukrainian military for the battles ahead.
Oh, yeah?
So we leave tonight strengthened, and so does Ukraine. And thank you, and I'll be glad to take your questions.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Our first question today will come from Sylvia Antone, AFP. You have a microphone.
Thank you. Mr. Secretary, actually, I have a double question for you. Moldova is stepping up its security measures after a series of explosions in the separatist region of Transnistria. Do you think there is a risk of spillover of the conflict to Moldova? And my second question is, after this big meeting about arming Ukraine, aren't you concerned that Putin may become restless and threaten again to use a nuclear weapon?
There we go. Yes.
Well, on the issue of spillover to Moldova, because of what we've seen here, a reporting of recent violence, we're still looking to the cause of that, but still doing an analysis.
Hey, pray for Heather and her family. I guess she's going into nursery, so please pray for good recovery. See you.
There, so not really sure what that's all about, but that's something that we'll stay focused on. And certainly we don't want to see any spillover, and again, it's important to make sure that we do everything that we can to ensure that Ukraine is successful, and that's the best way to address that. And your second part of the question there, Sylvie, was? Well, you heard us say a number of times that that kind of rhetoric is very dangerous and unhelpful. Nobody wants to see a nuclear war happen. It's a war that, where all sides lose. And so rattling of sabers and dangerous rhetoric is clearly unhelpful and something that we won't engage in.
Our next question goes to Suzanne Gailhard from ZDF.
Okay. That's the part I was staying for. I wanted to hear what he had to say about nuclear war. Obviously, they keep saying the same thing. This is not deterring anybody. This is not changing anything. This is not... If you want it or not, you guys are sleepwalking into it and you're feeding the fire. Putin is isolated for the world, and, you guys ain't trying to negotiate. Y'all ain't trying to end the war in Ukraine. Even when they're trying to end the war, you're still pumping Ukraine with weapons that can hit Russia, that can destroy their troops and their equipment, knowing that Russia's going to retaliate and go after Ukraine even stronger. So we're in the last times, man. We're in the last times. We don't know. And people keep saying we got the secret tech that can stop all nuclear missiles and all. No, we don't. We don't got no fucking secret tech to stop all nuclear missiles. These guys all seem concerned about nuclear war. We might got secret tech to like for battlefield or some weapons we don't know about. But to stop 6,000 of nuclear war, war, come on, guys. We would have already been at war with Russia if that was the case. We would have been attacked Russia. But no, we haven't attacked Russia, and for a very good reason, because they know we would all get bombed. Sad days, man. Sad days to come. Y'all better wake up and get y'all heads out of y'all butts. Because we don't know what's next. We don't know what's going to come next. Okay, we got a spammer in here. Jesus Christ. Oh, no. Now I got spammers on my freaking, on my YouTube, too. It's bad enough on TikTok. But anyways. Chrissy, good catch, love. Yep, good catch. They follow you, laugh out everywhere. Except for Instagram. And one tried to threaten my friend on Facebook. They threatened my friend. It was like, you're a freaking Trump-loving, devil-worshipping, kid-raping, like, just straight cussed her out, said, we're going to come after you, we're going to kill you. I'm like, what? And she came at me, she's like, Javante, you're going to have to leave me out of your news stuff. I'm like, no, dude, that's a bot. That's a bot. That's a bot. I could tell by the profile picture, that's a bot. Yeah. Anyways, I thought I would got to go live for you guys. I went live for TikTok. I went live for Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. All 4 of my platforms today. I suck at Telegramming. I would totally post some of my information on Telegram, but I really suck at it. If I had a big group on there, we all just shared each other's stuff, that'd be cool. But the fact that I gotta go independently and message people my information and, the information that I want to put on there is just exhausting. It's like Twitter. I just, no. So, much love. Remember to go to rule, love, unity, and peaceful life. I'm thanking Off Grid for coming through. And I hope everybody has a great day, a great blessed day. I might go live again on TikTok at some point today. But I have to post some videos on YouTube. I have a couple of videos I got to post. And I still have to post some videos on TikTok too. I ain't talk about all the articles that I have because it's hard to look these articles up on the computer. If I had just my phone, if there was a way to put my, for you guys to see all my stuff on my phone, this would be easier. But yeah, it's hard. But I hope you guys have a good day and I'll be seeing you guys soon. Look out for me.